Hello IP2, welcome to ICT Online. I hope you are all staying healthy, I hope you are all happy, and I hope you are ready to learn. Okay, let's get started. Today's topic is creating art with code. We have some new vocabulary today. The first word is pixel. A pixel is the smallest unit of a digital image. Okay, that might be a little confusing. I'll show you guys an example later. Next word is angle. Angles are the space between two lines which cross at a point. I'll also show you guys an example of that. And our final word of the day is degree. A degree is a unit of measurement of angles. Degrees measure how much one line turns away from another line. Okay, that might also be a little confusing, and I'll show you an example of that in the next slides. First, let's see some pixels. Okay, so we have this cute little puppy. We have this picture, digital picture of a puppy, and every image is made of many pixels. This might be a little confusing at this point, but what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in onto this little tiny part of the picture and see this puppy's tooth. Okay, that's going to look like this. Okay, when you zoom super close to a picture, you're going to see something like this. Okay, it doesn't really look like much of anything, but that's because it's super big right now. But when it's very small and you can see the entire picture, it looks like that. Each tiny square is 1 pixel, right? So these tiny squares, when they're zoomed really big like this, you can see them as squares. But when they're very small, you can't really even see that it's a square, right? It's just a tiny little dot on your screen. So each of those is a pixel, okay? And we're going to use pixels today to create some art, okay? You'll learn a little more about that later. Let's go to the next slide. Angles. Remember, an angle is the space between two lines which cross each other. So in our picture here, we have two lines, one line and two lines which cross each other at this point. And an angle is the space between them. So can you guys think how many angles are made from these two lines? If you said 4, that is correct, okay? The first angle is this one here. Remember, it's the space between lines. So this space is an angle. It's not the lines that are the angle, but it's the space between them. So that's one angle. This space is another angle. This space here is another angle. And this space here is another angle, right? So angles are the space between two lines which cross. Let's also talk about degrees. Remember, degrees are units which measure angles, and they measure how much one line turns away from another line. Know this, the biggest possible angle is 360 degrees, okay? So let's look at our picture here. I created an angle with these two lines here, okay? And degrees measure how much one line, let's say this line, turns away from another line. So this line here, right? How much is this line turning away from this line, right? How much are they turning? And the answer, you guys could probably see, that one is 30 degrees. So if we start from this line and then we turn up that much, we get 30 degrees. Let's see some examples. How big is the angle? And note that we are turning left. So starting from the flat line, how big do you guys think this angle is? The last one was 30. This one's a little bit bigger. So what do you guys think it is? Pause the video if you need to, think about it. And now I'll tell you, okay? We see our picture. we see that it turns up to 60. So this one is 60 degrees. Okay, let's go to the next one. How big is the angle? Again, turning left. So turning from this line, turning to here, that one is 90. Okay, 90 degrees. This one is going to be very important. We use a lot of 90-degree angles in our lives. Anytime we want to make a square or a rectangle, we use 90-degree angles. Let's look at another one. How big is the angle? Again, turning left. That means turning from this line to this line, going to the left. We're not talking about going from this line around this way. That would be a lot bigger, right? That's still an angle, but much bigger. We're talking about turning left. How big is this angle? That one is 120, okay? 120 degrees. Right? You guys can see it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger the more we turn left. How big is this angle turning left? Okay? So again, from this line, turning left all the way around. That one is 200 degrees. Okay? So we keep going. That is a very big angle, 200 degrees. And how about how big is this angle? Again, turning left. So we're not talking about this space. We're talking about this space going all the way around. How much does the line turn from here all the way around? That one is 330 degrees. You can see that here. Remember, the biggest angle is 360. If you go all the way around the circle, you would get to 360. So this one is about 330, okay? That's just to give you guys a little idea of how angles and degrees work.